Hi everybody, and welcome to my official review for Resident Evil 4 Remake. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, so any detail we go into is going to be very minimal. The gameplay you're seeing is from the first chapter of the game, so the first 20 minutes or so no spoilers there. So the first thing I want to talk about is the story. Now, Resident Evil 4 Remake, the story is the same as the original, just like Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake is the same story. Now, there are elements changed, or there might be elements added or taken away, but at the base of it all is the same story.
Anyone home?
Now, as for the art style, obviously it being a remake, right? The graphics have been updated, and I think the game looks fantastic. You know, the original looks great, but this looks fantastic. It's on the same par of quality as the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake were. I think it looks wonderful. You know, some designs of things have been changed. The characters, the costumes. I think it all works. I have nothing bad to say about it. I think it's great. Animations, though. So, with the update to graphics, we also got a change in animations for some things. Guns have... There's more variation in animations. Combat. Some of the melee moves you can do have been changed a little bit. There's different moves that you or enemies can perform. So obviously you would expect that with an upgrade in graphics and upgrade in power to the game. But it all looks great. In my experience, it all runs smooth. I didn't have any problems or hiccups with the frame rate or graphics. I played on my PS5. I played the PS5 version. I can't speak to like the PS4 or anything like that. But I think that all looks great because that goes with like the change in the art style, right? I mean, you wouldn't want the animations to be bad, but the rest will look good, or vice versa. Now for the characters, so that's kind of covered under the different art styles. I said about costumes and characters looking a little different. So the characters. So like I said, there's some elements changed. Maybe some characters get more or less screen time, or we learn more about this character or that. I can't really go into detail without spoilers, but just know there is some changes, some characters. So if you haven't bought the remake and you think it's exactly like the original, no, I would say it's worth buying it if you're very invested in the characters, especially some of the side characters. I'd recommend it for that, or at least look up what's new, right? Or taken away. Now, voice acting. I think this is the first and maybe the most controversial part of the remake. Pretty much all voices have been changed, obviously, because it's been so long since the original. I don't know if there's any original voices. Everyone sounds different to me. I don't think there's any other original actors on it. I don't necessarily find a problem with the voice acting. I mean, it's all done great. That's going to come down to personal opinion, whether you like the voice or not. Me personally, like, I think the original Ada's voice sounds better than, say, the remake. Sorry if that's a spoiler to somebody, but yes, some of the voices are different, and I say Ada because some of the characters you can hear in the trailers. So I assume if you're going to get the game, or even if you're afraid of spoilers, you've seen the trailers, so you should at least know some of the characters. Now, combat. So, I mentioned that animations have changed for weapons and some of their melee moves that you or enemies can perform. And that goes into combat. So the combat in Resident Evil 4 Remake is the same as the original, except with the upgrade in graphics and the such, there's also an upgrade in movement, so it's not as chunky or as blocky as you would find in the original, like PS2. The PS4 version updated a little bit, and then now it's even better here. So it's more like Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake. I wouldn't say it's as smooth as that, but it's not as chunky, so it does feel great. It feels good turning and going to the side and everything. I think that works wonderfully, and combat is smooth. You know, the gun gameplay to stunning enemies to performing your melee attacks. I mean, it was great in the original. No change here to any of like that, just like different moves, different animations. One unique aspect is the original has a bunch of death animations. Some are different here, or more gory, or just changed outright. I don't really know if there's been any added. I don't like have a list or comparison to all the death animations in the original, but from what I've died to, it does seem to be somewhat different, entirely or just altered a little. But all in all, the combat still feels great with all the changes and upgrades to animations and graphics and everything. The combat still feels great, which is probably the most important part of Resident Evil 4, and most people's favorite part of it, besides the scenery and the survival aspect, is combat. If the combat was bad, many people would complain. But not to go, this is spoiler free, but we have to talk about this. So, in the remake, just like Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake, there is a new unlockables section. There's different unlockables, some like costumes or weapons, some from the original, and just some different to customize your characters. Now, I said, like, it's like Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake, so with that is also challenges, so you get completion points for completing challenges. Just like those games and Resident Evil 8 and 7, most are related to the story, some are related to specific combat achievements or actions. If you played those games, you know what I mean. I don't really want to go into details for any, because that would spoil it. It's more fun to discover it on your own anyway. But yes, so there's challenges, you complete those, you get the points, and you can buy the accessories. Now, accessories are usually unlocked from completing the game. You can unlock a few from beating the game on any mode, and then others are unlocked through beating the game on different difficulties and getting different rankings in those difficulties. Speaking of rankings, the highest is S+, and the only thing that matters to your ranking is whether you're playing a New Game Plus. So New Game Plus locks you out of S+ ranking. It automatically defaults you to S rank as the highest you can get. So to get S+ ranking, you have to play in a new game, so nothing carrying over. But you can use special weapons. Anything you've unlocked, you can use. I won't name those items, but you can use them. And the only thing that relates to that is time it takes to complete the game. So kills and saves and such don't matter. It's just time, with the exception of professional difficulty. And this time around, professional difficulty is harder to get a high rank in. Now, for an S+ rank in professional, which is the hardest challenge you can get, you have to play a new game, and you get 15 or less saves, and there's no auto saves. And you have to complete in 5.5 hours. So that can be challenging. There's many different things you can do to get accessories that might help you, but without going into spoilers, I'm not going to tell you what those are, but there's strategies out there that you can look up in videos or articles. But there's plenty about unlockables. Now, with all that said, how is the trophies? Okay, so just like any other Resident Evil game, especially the remakes, the trophy, I would say the trophy is probably a 6 out of 10. I say that because it can be a little challenging for people that might not be used to Resident Evil or used to this kind of gameplay to do professional and get an S+ rank, which is one of the trophies. But most are related to what you would find in challenges. Let's like Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake. If you complete a challenge, use one of the hard, the more challenging of a challenge usually relates to a trophy as well, and vice versa. So there's ones for completing the game, completing specific difficulties, or completing specific difficulties and completing it on a certain rank. Or there's trophies related to certain actions, and most of those, if not all, relate to challenges back in the game, so that you can get your completion points. So that's how the trophies work. So a 6 out of 10. So not too challenging, but it can be challenging for some people. But there is ways to make the hardest challenge easier. So all in all, that's everything I have to discuss about the Resident Evil 4 remake. It would not be fair to give any game a perfect 10 out of 10. Personally, I find no problem with the remake, especially because as great as it is, we still have more content coming. We're supposed to get Mercenaries, but we don't know what else is coming. I mean, we don't know if Ada's playthrough is coming, again to the remake. We don't really know what's coming. So, with as great as the game is, there is more to come to it. So, I think I will give Resident Evil 4 Remake a 10 out of 10. Maybe I'm biased, maybe it's nostalgia, but yes, I do feel like the game is that good, and I feel like with more content coming, it can only get better. So, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video, but until then, bye.